user is visiting 10 pages now, and the data is accessible to even all the 10 pages now. So what do we call single user global data? But remember, it is very secured. The session of one user is not exchanged with another user. The session data of one user is not exchanged with another user. If you store any data in a session, that session data is not accessible to you for the other users. Okay, so basically that is the advantage with sessions. That's the advantage with session, secure. And what I said, for every user there will be one session. For every user there will be one session. So if at all you just connect to the server, a session is created for you. If at all you connect to the server, a session is created for you and is accessible only for one user only in all the pages visit. Okay, so these are the 5 options we learned till now. So what is the difference between all the things? Is scopes. Scope is different. What is that? View data and view bag accessible only in one request. Temp data accessible in multiple requests, but once access deleted. Sessions, multiple requests, accessible in multiple requests, is accessible in multiple requests, but only one user only. But only one user. Same way, we have one more thing called as application now. The 6th option is application. What is application? Application has different scope now. Application is like public. Application is like public. What is that? Once you store data in application, accessible to all users in all pages. Do you get my point? If I store any data into a session, I only can access the data. You cannot access the data. But if I store any data in application, everyone connecting to the server can access the application. All of us connected to the application, to the web application here. I stored some data in the application memory. The data is accessible to all the users who are connected now. So what is it, multi-user global data. Session, single user global data. Application, multi-user global data. You understood the difference between the two now? That's why I said your applications are public. Once you store any data in the application, accessible to you on all the pages you visit for all the users. But sessions are accessible only for single user, and applications are accessible to you for multi-user. It's a multi-user global data, and this is a single user global data. Hope you guys are clearer between the sessions and applications now. Like this, we just have the applications available. How to store the data in application? All same here. How do you store data in a view data, temp data, session, application? All are same concept only. How do you store? View data of P is equals to value. Temp data also same only, na? Session also same. Application also same. Only the keywords are changing now. In the case of view data, we used temp data. Last class we used session. Now we require to use application. That's all. How you store it is the same process. You can just check it out. Application of key is equals to value. Just like we are written session of. Now we are writing application of. Okay. Well, and remember, session is specific to every user now. I showed you one picture about session in the last class. Yeah, there's a picture. What did I say? Every user connecting to the server will create one session now. If there are 1,000 users, 1,000 sessions are created. And every session is specific to the user. One session is not exchanged with another user. But when you come to application, application is a common memory for all the users. Application is a common memory for all the users. Something like this. Did you understand? This is application memory, accessible for everyone now. And that is session memory specific to the user. Application memory, session memory. You guys are clear? Okay, sessions are specific. Application is global. Application is going to be global. Application. This is a global storage mechanism that is used to store data on the server, which is shared between all users. That is, data stored in application is accessible to all users and anywhere in the application. Multi-user global data session, single user global data. Application is multi-user global data. Application state is stored in the memory of the web server and is faster than storing and retrieving information from database. What is this? Sometimes, yeah. See, when you're developing web applications, sometimes you'll have some data commonly available for all the people connecting to the server. You will be having some data commonly available for all the users. So in that scenario, what they say is, a user connected here, I want to display some data to him. Another user connected, I want to display the same data. I want some common data to be displayed for all users. And this data, I want to take it from a database now. I want to take it from a database now. So every time for every user, I connect to database, load the data. Second user connect to database, load the data. Third user connect to database, load the data. Is time taking. So what it tells you, or if you feel the data is common for all the users, first time when you start the application, load the data and store in application memory. Load the data in, store in application memory. So that all users, listen, all users can directly take the data from the application memory now. So which one is faster? Application memory is faster. Connecting to database on a remote computer is a waste of time now. So in that scenarios, the type of global information which is required for all the users will be stored into application memory. When you write the code, application start. Remember global.assets? Under that, you have a method called application start. Do you remember? So this method executes only one time only now. Here we write the code for loading the data from a database and we'll store off the data into application memory so that every user can put the data from the application memory. No need to go to database again now. What type of data? Not specific data, guys. Data common for all. Data common for all. I want to load the data specific to the user. His username, password is the that should be not stored in application memory. That should be stored in session memory only. Understood? So data stored in application is accessible to all users. Multi-user global data. Application data is stored in the memory of the web server and is faster than storing and retrieving information from a database. So application used in the same way as session. But session is specific for a single user, whereas application is common for all users. And this picture will show you clearly what the difference between session and application. Next. Session has an expiration period now. How much? An ideal time period of 20 minutes. An ideal, don't say 20 minutes directly. What you should say? An ideal time period of 20 minutes means if it is not used within 20 minutes, it will be destroyed. Okay? But application doesn't have any expiration here. Until you explicitly delete the memory or restart your server or recycle your worker process, your application memory will not be destroyed. Got it or not? Application is global memory, man. Because it is global memory, it's not going to be destroyed to you every time. Once you store anything in the application memory, that is accessible to you every time. Until you explicitly delete the data or restart the server or recycle the worker process, the data in the application memory will not be destroyed. Okay, that's what it is telling you. Application doesn't have any expiration period like session. So when we recycle the worker process or restart the web server only, the data in application memory will be lost. Data is stored in application in the form of name value pairs solely, like we store data in session, view data, temp data. We store data into application by using application property of HTTP context class that is defined in system.web namespace. I'll tell you about this one. And how do you store the data? Same process. Okay. Well, what is that application that no time is that application memory is not thread safe? You guys learned multi-threading now? Watch videos of the multi-threading. So basically, multi-threading. What is multi-threading? Multi-threading is a concept of creating a separate threads. And in those videos, if you recollect yourself, I said you all the servers run in a multi-threaded model. All servers run in multi-threaded model. What is it? Whenever a user connects to the server will create one thread and give to the user. A second user connected, another thread is created. Third user connected, another thread is created. Like 100 users connected, 100 threads are created. Like what is this? If you go to a bank now, there is one teller counter. All the people standing in the queue, 100 people standing in the queue. It takes a lot of time now. Yes or not? To speed up the things now, the bank has opened multiple teller counters. So people can now go to different counters and complete their work faster. Understood? So even when you watch up the videos on the multi-threading, that's the same concept you learned in the multi-threading also. What is that? Multi-threading is a concept of more than one thread executing your code. By default, every program will have one thread to run the program now. What is that? What is that? Main thread. By default, every program will have one thread to run the code. What is that? And we have an option to create more than one thread now. Yes or not? We have an option of creating more than one thread. More than one thread can be created here. So basically, to speed up the things, if it is a single threaded model, if server is single threaded, do you know what is the problem? All the people should stand in the queue now. All the people should stand in the queue and the server will serve one by one requests. So without this headache, servers are multi-threaded. For every user, there will be one thread created. User 1, thread 1 is created. User 2, thread 2 created. User 3, thread 3 created. Like this will create you multiple threads and all will be running parallelly. All users can access the server. Parallelly, they can access the data. They don't require to wait or depend on the others. So servers are generally multi-threaded. So here, application memory is not thread safe. What do you mean not thread safe? Not thread safe in the sense, if one thread is trying to access the application memory, second thread also can access the same memory at a time now. Did you understand what I'm telling you? That was also in the video. Thread synchronization. We just talked about a concept also. When one thread is trying to access a method, if another thread also tries to call the same method, we will get wrong results. That's a problem what we have in multi-threading. All of you putting blank faces here. Everyone, you watched the multi-threading videos. Even the job granted students also, I said you to watch that particular videos to you all. Yes or not? You put blank faces and when I'm talking about it, you learned about that concept already. Go and watch the videos again if you have any doubts. Okay, so basically, we have a concept there, like one thread is trying to call a method. Another thread also, it calls the same method, wrong results will come now. And for that, we just learned about a concept called locking. We learned a concept called as locking. What is locking? When one thread is trying to access a method, second thread has to wait now. But unfortunately, application memory is not thread safe. Not thread safe in the sense when one thread is manipulating the data, second thread can access the data now. So what will happen? Wrong results will come now. One thread is doing some changes, second thread comes in the middle and do some changes, again wrong results will come. Unfortunately, generally it should be locked. It should be locked. It's not thread safe. Because it is not thread safe, what we need to do is, whenever you're working with a application memory, you need to do a locking of the application memory every time. That's what I want to say. Before you store some data or access the data, you should call a method called lock. And once your job is completed, you need to call a method called as unlock. That is compulsory. Means you're storing some data here now. Just a minute. You're storing some data here. Just watch. You're storing some data here. Before this line, you should write application.lock. Lock it. Then do your action. After this line, you should write application.unlock and unlock it. So what will happen now? When one thread is accessing, it will lock it and do its work, unlock it. Then only second one can just do it. Are you clear? Just like a telephone booth here. You want to talk in telephone booth. You enter the telephone booth, lock it and sit inside and talk now. And you unlock and come out. Then only second person can enter. If there is no lock there, when you're talking, someone will come in the middle and interfere you now. Yes or not? So this is also exactly the same concept only. So what is that? Application memory is not thread safe. So to overcome the problem, whenever we are dealing with application state data, we need to call lock and unlock methods on application object. It is mandatory. You're required to call a lock method and you're required to call the unlock method. Before manipulation, lock. After manipulation, unlock. Compulsory, you need to call it. I'll show you how to do that. Can you repeat once and our links and now what do you want me to repeat? Balaji, what do you want me to repeat? Guys, the last three session videos I posted in your Google Classroom. The last three classes videos are posted in the Google Classroom because many of you people are missing up. I just posted up the particular videos in the classroom regarding temp data, cookies, sessions, temp data, cookies, and sessions. These three concept videos are present in the Google Classroom. I posted for job guaranteed as well as full stack students also. I just posted up in the Google Classrooms. Just watch up the three videos. Temp data, cookies, session. All the three things are there. Sessions is the biggest concept. That is the most important thing actually. Just to go through all the things. Yeah. Let me last method, index 10. View bag, sorry, view data, view bag, temp data, cookie, session, region, application. Yeah. I want to write a new method now, and I want to use application memory in this now. Same here, all methods are going to be same in concept. Now I'm writing carefully, observe it. I want to store these values in the application memory, not in the session. What do you write? Application of, I'm not getting this, application of ID is equals to ID. I'm getting an error. I'm getting an error. Reason, it's in a different namespace, man. It's in a different namespace. That's what I just said you up here. Store data and application property by using HTTP context class that is defined in system.web. So how should I call it? It is defined in HTTP context class. It is defined in HTTP context class. So what is the namespace? System.web. System.web is imported already now. Yes or not? Now I'm saying HTTP context dot application. HTTP context dot application ID is equals to ID. Name context dot price. Sorry. Application of price is equals to price. Listen, session, view data, all these are defined in controller class here, your parent class. That is, I will directly call it now. But this is not in the controller class. Where is it? HTTP context class. That is why I should refer to as HTTP context dot application. So that's why I'm calling HTTP context dot application. But before doing this, HTTP context dot application dot log. This is what I'm trying to tell you. You should call lock and unlock. Return view. You stored data in the HTTP context now. Sorry, in the application, you stored the data now. Now you can go to the view and access this data. You can go to the view and access the data. Are you clear? Okay, fine. Just a minute. We'll add a view now. Right click, add a view. Okay. Where is it? You understood the problem? The problem is, last class we hosted this in IES. If hosted on IES, we're required to open this in run as administrator. That is the mistake. We did not open the administrator mode, and that's why you are not able to see that. If you open the Solution Explorer, see that the project is not loaded. I said you this problem earlier, remember? And this is a very serious issue. So what you're required to do, open in administrator mode, right click, run as administrator. That's why the options are not getting enabled there. That's it. Yeah, right click. What happened? Yeah, here write the code to display the data. The same old code, man. Nothing new. Same old code. Product details. HTTP context dot current dot application of ID. HTTP context dot current of application of name. And you're just trying to call the appropriate data from here. The appropriate data from here. Okay. And now let me run the index 11 action method. Method home index 11. Index 11. The values coming back here. Is that clear? Okay, but one thing, when you're accessing these values in the view, we cannot directly call HTTP context dot application. We should call it as HTTP context dot current of application. See the code. Are you clear? You should call HTTP context dot current dot application. You cannot directly access it right now. You should call HTTP context dot current dot application. Okay, straight away it doesn't provide you access to the things here. That's the only thing we just require to remember. Rest of all code is same. Can I add a link here to launch another page? Array, from here, I want to take you to another method. Which method? Where I want to call? Index 12. On the click of the link here, it has to go to index 12. So add a link here now to navigate to the second method. Which one? Index 12. Look, concentrate on that. What is that? Click to launch. MSC data transfer from index 12. So it will launch a new view now. Which one? Add a view. Right click, add a view. And here also I want to show the data. Here also I wanted to show the data. Yeah, same only. Copy the content from index 11 as it is and paste into index 12. What I'm trying to show is multiple pages. You can access multiple pages. That's what I want to preview. What I want to preview is this data is accessible to you in multiple pages. From here, can I go to another view? Yes or not? Another controller? Or anywhere you go, yeah, it is global. You go to another controller, another view. From there also, we can just access the data. So watch. In this, I am taking you to another place now. Where I'm taking, see? Test controller, index 4. I'm taking you to test controller, index 4. So now let's go to test controller and add a method called as index 4. So we're trying to jump from one place to another place to prove what? It is global access. You can access the data in anywhere. Again, right click, add a view, and copy the same code what you have in, means in 11, 12 as well as this 4. In all places the code is same. The same code you are writing in all the 3. So which one to launch first? 11. Launch 11. Observe. What are you calling? Index 11. Will launch it. What is launch now? 11 is launched. Now on the click of this, it will take you to home controller index 12 only. Again, on the click of it will take you to accessible to in multiple pages now. That's what I'm trying to show you. Multi-user global data. So first, global data clear. You're able to multi-user global data. What is multi-user global data? Remember, last class session also I shown you the same thing to you. For session also I shown you all these 3. One page to another page, another page to another controller page. I showed you all the same thing for you in the session. But then I showed you another example. What is it? I copied this URL. I went to a new browser, yes or not, and tried to open the page there, and you did not get the data there now. Why we did not get the data? Every browser is considered as a new user now. If you open 2 separate browsers, these are 2 separate users. So one user data is not exchanged to another user. Correct? See now. This is global. See, accessible to all the users. The same scenario we saw in the last session. But what happened on the day? When I opened the second browser, we are not able to see that. Am I right or wrong? But now, even though you open the second browser, also the data is visible to you. Reason? It is a global data. It is global data. You open any number of browsers, this data will be accessible to you. But when you talk about a session, the data accessible in one browser, go to another browser will not be accessible. Understood? But in application to be accessible because it is a global data. It's not single user, it is a multi-user global data. Any number of tabs you try, any number of browsers you try, in all the places you will be able to access this particular data. And this data doesn't have any timeout or will not be destroyed until and unless you explicitly restart, remove the data, delete the data. Second option, restart the server. Third option, recycle the worker process. Recycle the worker process. Then only the data here will be deleted. Until then, your data here will not be deleted at all. Data lost. Just a minute. This is the problem. The SQL server is not there. Home index 11. Go here. Now how to try? Open a new tab. Sorry, new browser. Okay. What happened? 4 only, na? 11 to 12. Did we disable any cookies or anything? No. Just a minute. Sometimes when you're hosting on web server IIS, sometimes the project will not be built properly. There's a common issue here. Just only to use clean option. Remember the clean option? I showed you the option for you in the setup classes. Right click and say clean. So what will happen? It will delete off the old assemblies and rebuild the projects again. Okay, clean and build again. That's it. Just an issue like a rebuilding option only. Okay. Well, so this application memory, because it's an application memory, the data is accessible to you in all the pages for all the users. All the pages in all the users. That's what we call multi-user global data. Multi-user global data. It's going to be. Okay. So just understand everything is varying in their scopes now. 4 options we learned. They're varying in the scopes, which will store on the server. What is that? View data, temp data, session, application. Please leave it. That is a client side. This is client side. Otherwise, view data. View data, view back same only. I'm not talking about view back separately. View data, temp data, session, application. View data accessible only in one request. Temp data accessible in multiple requests, but drawback is once access will be deleted off. Session global data, and you can access it for any number of times, but specific to one user. Application global data for all users, multi-user global data. Okay, just see these are the steps here: private, internal, protected, public. When you say private, accessible only there. When you say internal, accessible in the project. When you say protected, accessible within the project and out of the project for child classes. Public. This is public. This is public now, accessible for you from anywhere. 6 options covered till now. 7. Anonymous types. Remember, Anonymous types. We learned about anonymous types already in the C# classes. What is an anonymous type? Anonymous type is a type without a name. A type without a name. It is just going to be a type without a name, basically. Okay. So we already know about a concept called as anonymous types. It is going to be a type without a name, actually. Okay. Now, what is that? I want to create the instance of a class. And if you want to create the instance of the class, first the class should be existing now. Public class product is a class. In this class, I'm defining three properties: public, int ID, get set, public string name, get set, public double price, get set. It's a class with three properties now. Now, can I create the instance of this class now? Okay, how do you create? Product P is equals to new product. And unfortunately, the class doesn't have a parameterized constructor. So what will do? It will initialize all the three with the default values now. But if I want to give my own values, what I'll do? Curly braces, object initializers. ID is equals to 101. And name is equals to some name here, like a shoe. And price is equals to some value, 3,500. You can create an instance like this now. And to create this instance, first this class has to be defined. Yes or not? Okay, now if I pass this P anywhere, automatically all the values are also passed to other place now. Yes or not? So what is this? This is a normal concept, nothing new here, just a class and an object of the class containing all the values in it. But without this, remember in C# we learned we have a concept called anonymous types, where P is equals to mu of, open the curly braces, ID is equals to 101, name is equals to 2, price is equals to 3,500. I can directly create an instance like this without defining a class also. And what I shown you in the IL code also, I opened your IIDSM of your assembly and said, a type is implicitly defined for you. A type is implicitly defined for you. Remember the name of the type also? F__ anonymous type of 0. Anonymous type of 0 with the 3. What is it? The 3 attributes. The 3 attributes like this. A type will be implicitly defined for you. You learned in your C#. Refer to your C# notes if you have any confusions or doubts on it. What is it? Anonymous type. So what is the beauty here? The beauty is you don't require to define the type again. Who will do it for you? Compiler will do it for you. Without writing a class, compiler will do it. Understood my point or not? So now what you can do, you can simply pass this P whenever you want. All the values are carried. All the values are carried over there. Okay, watch it and just observe. Region, anonymous types. Observe it carefully. I'm copying this method, guys. We'll paste it out. What is it now? 12 is here, na 13. Okay, na 13. Now, just observe. I want to pass all the three values to my view now. Option 1, you can pass these values by storing in view data. Option 2, temp data. Option 3, session. Option 4, application. You learned all these things now. Now I'm showing a new option to you. Watch. Where P is equals to mu of, open the curly braces and write down. ID is equals to ID. Name is equals to name. Price is equals to price. Price is equals to price. I'm storing all the three values into it. Now tell me all the three values are present in the P or not. You can simply pass the P here directly now. Where P? Watch it. That is a overload method, guys. If you remember the one method view, we learned about another one also. Remember this one? You can tell your view name and launch. When the view name is different for the action method name, you can tell the view name and launch it. Okay, but look at the third method. You can pass the object here. Creates a view object by using the model. Means it is considered as one class now, and that is passed as a parameter for this. Now you can go to the view and access all the values from it. This is called as anonymous type. Tomorrow, 20, 30 values are there. Without storing one value into one and pass, you can pass it as a one single object. You can pass it as a single object for this. This is another. See, basically it has given you different options to you. And first understand the concept. What is what? Then we will see which method to use in which scenario. Depending on the requirement, it will change in you. Are you clear? So first, don't try to do any comparisons. What is the view data? What is the view back? No. Try to understand what is what. How do we use each? Tomorrow when you're writing the code, then we'll analyze. Here, view data will not be useful for us. Let's go for the temp data. So depending on the requirements, I'll use view data, I'll use temp data, I'll use sessions, I'll use applications, I'll be using anonymous types. Differently we'll use based on the requirements. Now, let's go to the view. Okay. Now the question is, sir, how to access the values here now? How to access the values here? Okay, just a second. How to access the value? The values, whatever you store in the anonymous type, you're storing in the anonymous type and passing it now. The values will come here in the form of a view data. The values will come here in the form of view data. You will get this in the form of view data now. What happens internally, frankly speaking, what happens internally, internally, this object is stored in the view data and will be accessible to the viewer. You store a thing in the view data and accessing in the viewer. In the first example, look here. What you're doing, you're storing ID in a view data, name in a view data, price in a view data. Yes or not? Same way I'm storing this object in the view data now. But I don't require to write again. View data is equals to directly the value stored in the view data. When I pass it, internally what we do is to take one view data, store the values in the view data, and tells you in the view, you can access the value from the view data. You can access the value from the view data. How to access view data? Just a minute. I stored all the three values in one single object tab, or they separately stored? Single object now. When you separately stored, how do you call view data of ID? Correct? But you stored as a single object. So that's how you should write view data dot eval of ID. That is how you should call it. View data dot eval of ID will provide you access to the ID. Next. Maybe it is written type different here. Cannot convert object. Written type is object here, so cannot convert is telling you. Convert dot 2 into 32. Next. String name is equals to view data dot eval of name. Same error will come now. Convert to string now. For converting to string, you can directly call to string. Next. Double price is equals to convert dot double. You cannot write double dot parse. Forget that. Parse can be used only on strings. String object is the object, not string. View data dot eval of price. Eval of price. And the next step is same only. Price is equals to price plus price into 0.1. Now you got all the values, and now create your table. Table border is equals to 1. Align equal to center. Width is equals to 20%. Caption, product details, TR, TD. What do you want? ID, TD, at the rate, ID. No need to give that off because already this is a variable ID now. Next. Second one, name, at the rate name. Third one, price, at the rate price, at the rate price. Now come to home controller and call the 13. You're required to call the index 13. Home, index 13. Got your values. Understood? This is another way how to get the values. So first, what you're required to do is you're just required to capture all the values in your page from the view data. They are present in the view data actually. From the view data, I need to pick up all the values. How to pick? View data.eval. View data.eval of ID. Why should I call this method? Listen. You are getting as one single object. Understand, all these three values are not coming as a scalar values. In the previous example, you passed each value individually, three separate view data. But today they are not under three separate view data. Under a view data, there is present as a single object, and that object contains three separate values. Remember, when you learned collections, when you learned about collections, I explained you this concept to you. Here, you stored string objects. Array, directly you can say string of 0, string of 1, string of 2, string of 3. But here you stored what? Customer objects. But that customer has 5 attributes again inside of it. How do you call? Customers of index.id, customers of index.name. Remember this? Array, that's not a scalar type, that is a complex type. So that's why when you're picking the values, how you should pick the value? You should first call eval, and then you require to refer to the ID, eval.id. Okay, it's a method what will split your object first. What this method will do? The method will internally split the three values in the object, and provides you access to ID, name, and price separately. Read this. That is, even we did not explicitly store the values in view data, they are implicitly stored into view data and accessible under the view. You don't require to again write the code for storing them in a view data. They are automatically stored into view data and will be accessible in the view. While accessing the values from view data, we require calling eval method on view data because the value that are stored in the form of instance or object, and it's a complex type. And under that instance or object, we have all the three values which should be separated first. That only said here, what will eval do? Separates the values, and once separated, you can get access to the appropriate values. Okay, and then this is how we are calling index 13 and passing up all the values. Okay, well, next. Sir, can I pass this? Can I pass this values from one method to another now? What is my requirement is just a minute. Look. Remember this one? Index 3. What will happen in index 3? We'll store the values in index 3 and call. And all of you have messed up the previous classes. View result. View result will launch a view. What is this? Another result. What is that? This is for transferring the control from one action method to another action method. If we want to transfer the control from one action method to another action method, we use this method. What is that? Redirect to route result. So till now we covered the two results. One is view result. Maximum we use the view result only. Second option, and we already learned there are 2 to 12 different results. I will show you every result to you one by one. Okay. So now what is my next requirement is, look, public redirect to route result index 14. What you wanted to do? I wanted to first read all the values in this method. Which method? Index 4. And I want to transfer the control to a different action method. Which one? Return redirect result. Redirect to action. I want to redirect to a different action method. Which action method? Look. Index 5. Which controller? Test controller. Array, you can pass the same controller also. Suppose if I write index 15. Which controller? Same controller, but not same controller. I don't want same controller. I want to go to another controller. Index 5. Test. Are you clear? And in the process, all these values also should be carried now. So what I'm doing first is, look at this statement. First, created a comma. Did you understand? Here you're directly passing P now, but here you're passing the P to index 5 test controller, and the values are passed. And see the overload, what is it using now? First parameter, action method name. What is that? Index 5. Second parameter, which controller? Third one. The values are passed to the method as routes. The values are passed as routes in the sense you will see them in the address bar. Where you see them? Address bar, you will see the values. Okay. I'm not still writing this method index 5. I will write it, but first let me run this. Let me run this method. Which method? Which method? Index 14. Index 14. Okay, come on, let's do this. Run. Home, I'm sorry. Home. Index 14. All of you carefully observe it. Which method am I calling? You won't get any output from the browser now, but see, when I call it, the browser address bar will immediately change off. It will redirect me. So it will go to the method and redirects to index 5. Browser closed off. Just a minute here. Maybe I pressed something, the browser got closed. Home. Index 14. Once again, you can observe all of you. You are calling home index 14, right? See the address bar. Now, all of you, I'm telling you that you're getting error. Someone telling, sir, I'm getting error. You're not watching the address bar. Look in the address bar. You will understand what is the mistake. What mistakes are there. You will see that in the address bar now. Irrelevant. And see all the values came here as routes now. There you specify now test index 5, comma P. The P is the route values. Means it will spread them and pass them in the routes now. Are you clearer or not? Now write a method in the test controller. What's the name? And you need to read all the 3 values as parameters again now. Come to test controller. You help me in writing the method. Public view result index 5, and don't forget to read all the 3 again here. You need to read all the 3 values as it is from there now. The same 3 parameters should be defined for here also. Is it clear? Again, what to do? Where P is equals to new of, ID is equals to ID, name is equals to name, price is equals to price. And what you say, return view, return view. Guys, without this, can I directly do this? Every time I show it's a new for you only. Array. Throw new exception. Simply you can write like that now. I'll be pass of the object. What is that? Creating an object now. New of creating an object and passing. What's the name of the object? Who want? Who want to know the name of the object here? Are you calling any members on that object anywhere? Then what is the name of the object? What for me now? It can have any name. But what is important? Instance is created or not. That's all. Go to add view. First, read all the three values. How to read? Just now I explained you. Help me. Int id is equals to convert the dot to into 32 of view data dot eval of id. Eval of id. Next. String name is equals to, guys, you can write like this also there, convert the dot to string. Without calling to string, like this also you can write convert dot to string, view data dot eval of name. Double price is equals to convert dot to double view data dot eval of price. Next line. Double quotes are missing. Next line. Price is equals to price plus price into 0.1. Now you can copy paste the table code now. Copy the table code. Paste it. Directly values coming. So now first call 14 will jump to 5 and displays the values. So this is how you pass the values from one to the other. Home index 14. So all of you can observe it 14 and see the address bar carefully. 5. Again, you want to go to somewhere again, same process. You need to pass the object explicitly. Anonymous types. We call it as anonymous types. Means without again creating without again defining a separate class, we can just use this. This is the seventh option. This is the seventh option. But frankly speaking, in all these options, we have 3 problems now. What are the problems? First one, no type safety. Only one provides you the type safety. What is that? Go back. Remaining doesn't provide the type safety. 6 doesn't provide type safety. Only one has a type safety. What is it? And all 7 have a common drawback. What is it? If names are misspelled, error will not come. No compile time error, no runtime error. I already shown you. If I type wrong name, wrong key name, error comes. No, error doesn't come. I should remember the names correctly now. Will IntelliSense help you? No, IntelliSense doesn't help you. IntelliSense is not working anywhere now. Yes or not? So mainly, first drawback, not type safe, except one, remaining all are not type safe. Second drawback, IntelliSense is not at all helping me. When I say view back dot, IntelliSense will not show me anything now. IntelliSense is not at all helping me. And very, very importantly, if names are misspelled anywhere, there is no compile time error or there is no runtime error. Are you clear? To fix all these problems, finally, the last option, models. Now comes your model now. So till now you worked on controllers, you worked on views, right? Now come on, we'll see the third one now. What is that? Models. Model. If you use the models now, you can fix all these problems. What is it? Type safety is achieved. Okay, IntelliSense is available. When IntelliSense is available, there is a chance of misspelling the name now. When intelligence is showing me the name, I'll directly select it now. Why will I type wrong? If type wrong also, comparative error will come. Did you understand? You can put an end card for all the problems with the help of models. With the help of your models. Yes, we need to create 2 times separately. No, we cannot. Even dynamic use also object should be created. We need to just create the object separately. We cannot use any dynamics or anything there. Nothing works. Compulsory, you need to create the 2 separate objects. See, in index 4, we created the object again. Index 5, you created the object separately. Separately only you should create the object. No other alternative. Okay. Well, now, what am I just telling you? The model object can resolve you all these problems. How to use that, sir? Come on, let's do it. Observe it. First step. Go to your models folder. Alright, till now we never went to the models folder. And add a class here. Add a class here. Let me add a class. We'll name the class as product. Product. Okay, now in this class, define the attributes of a product now. All attributes public ID. Get set. Name. Get set. A class now with 3 properties. Okay. Well, so where this class is defined, see the namespace name. Models. Actually, when you see earlier in C#, we used to add your classes directly under the project. When you add a class directly under a project, your project name will be namespace. But now we are not directly adding under a project, you are adding under a folder of a project. So your namespace name will be your project name dot folder name. Your project name dot folder name. Go and see the controllers here. All the controllers are defined in a namespace called MVC data transfer dot controllers. That is your folder name now. Observe it. That's what I'm telling you now. Models. So if I want to use this in my controller, I should import the namespace. That's why I said you this. Transfer dot models. I should import the namespace now. Both are not. You have a doubt, sir, within the same project, why to import? They are not in the same namespace. There are 2 separate namespaces. If they're same namespace, no need import now. They're not in the same namespace. They're on separate namespaces. That's why I should import it. Okay, observe. What do you call, strongly typed models. Simple models only, but we call them as strongly typed now. Okay, watch. Public view result index 14. Last method is 14 or 15? Oh, last method is 14. So now it should be 15. Index 15. Int ID. String name. Double price. Now, earlier, just like you created anonymous object, and now you directly create the model class object now. Directly create the model class object here. Product P. Product P is equals to new product. Open this, and the intelligence will show you the values keys now. What's it? ID equal to ID. Name equal to name. Price equal to price. Is it not the similar type of code you written in the previous example? But the only thing is there is no class name. Here what we used var, and here we did not use a class name now. Okay, now also done the same thing. Now let me add a view now. Index 15, add view. Listen, guys, this is a new thing. Now you want to access that model here now. On the top of your class, you should say at the rate model MVC data transfer dot models dot product. Listen carefully. At the rate product MVC data transfer dot models dot product. Okay, come on. See the body. Table border is equals to 1. Width is equals to 20%. Align is equals to center. Caption. Customer details. PR. PD. What do you want? ID. PD. Guys, watch. At the rate model dot. This is the beauty. You got everything in the list. You can call ID, you can call name, you can call price, intelligence support, and strongly typed. See that. This is integer. This is double. Type safe. It is type safe now. And directly I can call this ID here. Next. Name. Price. Just a minute. We need a calculation now. Double price is equals to double price is equals to address. No need. Price is equals to price plus price into 0.1 at the rate price. So no need of conversion. No need of conversion. You can directly get out the values. Now come on, let's run index 15. Error somewhere. Curly brace missing. What's the method? Home index 15. You launched. You launched. You got your view, what you're expecting. If you want to travel from here to anywhere, you can just travel. We can do that. But that is also going to be possible. So, but the point to understand is we have just gone for creating a by using a model object. We just gone for creating this by using the model object now. That's the way how you work with a model object. See. Models folder, add a class. What is the name? Product. 3 simple things. Next step. You should import the namespace. Why I showed you the reason, all the things I showed you. Where? Home controller and define a new action method. What is the method? You are creating an object and passing the object there. Are you clear? Well, guys, just all of you carefully listen. In the view, what you require to do first, you require to use at the rate model. What is the meaning of this particular statement is this view is now bound with that model called as product. I repeat, this view is now bound with a model called as product. Do you remember the picture of the MVC architecture? On the day, remember, controller talks with views, control talks with model. Yes or not? But views and models will not talk with each other. But there on the picture, it shows you an arrow mark representing the view to model. Remember that? That is what this one is. What is that? The view is binding to the model. The view is binding to the model now. The view is not talking with the model directly. The view is binding to the model. The data should come from the controller only. Controller only should pass the data. But the view is bound to the model. And remember when you're typing here, @model lowercase. Are you clear? Now come to your code. Here, @model Pascal case. Here, @model means your class object. That works like your class object. See now, it is referring to product. That's your class object, man. The object of the class now. What do you mean? @model. Are you getting my point or not? So this is what, when I say @model here, it is referring to my product. And don't forget, on the top it should be lowercase, and in the code it should be Pascal case. If you make a mistake, you will not get the values. Binding should be done in lowercase. Accessing should be done in Pascal case. And one more thing, observator. See this code, you understand this particular code. What is it? ID, name, price, all these things you are reading individually now. Yes or not? Without reading them individually, guys, it's a beautiful option what we have here. Watch this method. Observe it. Look at this method. You can write this method like this now. Product. Enough. Did you guys understand me? Simple. The ID in your route is matching with the ID in your class. Name in the route is matching with the name in the class. Price in the route is matching with the price in the class. Already I said you, MVC has a beautiful concept called as a name mapping system. The name mapping system will directly bind the tree and read off. Imagine today we have only 3 attributes. Think you have 10 attributes? Writing 10 parameters and reading how complicated it is now. Simply define a class and use it. Names are same. Automatically all the values will directly come and fall here. Understood my point or not? And going forward, what did I say? Do we type values in browser anymore? What did I say here? We said that we'll design UIs and we'll enter. Tomorrow you're designing a form for adding a new employee. Listen, you're designing a form to add a new employee. What are the attributes? Employee ID, employee name, salary, job, job. Differently, you have 15 attributes, man. How many? So we have 15 controls on the screen now. You need to read all the 15 here now. Yes or not? These 15 parameters. 15? And the name should exactly match with the 15 here. Don't do this. Define a class. Use the class. The 15 values will directly come and fall in the object. Our object is one single value. Directly you can pass up anywhere now. Now you bring 15 values. 15 should be stored in a session or a view data again and passed it. But right now at a time you can pass all the 15 as a single object. Which one is better? Which one is better? Actually, this one only we should use. See, generally for one or two values, no need of defining classes. Then go for using view data, temp data, anonymous types and all. But tomorrow when you are working with the databases, a real model comes, this entity comes now. At that time, we need to go for models. Just we have small examples we're checking, but going forward, what we do? I developed an application for managing employee data. Employee model should be here now. Are you clear? I'm developing an application for managing customer data. Customer model should be there now. And these models will now directly interact with your database going forward. When we work with database, this model will directly talk with the database now. I can directly pass this model object to database. Database will store the data. I don't require to pass a 10 values separately. What should I pass? One object. What is that? Model object. The model object will directly go to database and stores all the values into the appropriate column. We don't require to write complex coding going forward now. Single object will do all the work. That's the beauty of object-oriented programming. That's why I say just be good in object-oriented programming. You should understand entities, properties, and all the appropriate things. So all the attributes are represented as properties. So what you learned in object-oriented programming? Entity is a character. Entity is your character now. Customer is a character now. That is your entity, which represents a customer. Now product. Product is your character that represents a product now. And all the properties are attributes of the character now. ID, name, and price are the attributes. We have taken only 3. For product, only 3 are. Batch number, manufacturing date, expiry date, or a lot of attributes should be there. Just to starting only we take 10, 20 attributes, it will be confusing. That's why starting with 3. Now imagine adding more attributes now. It will be a big headache to manage all the values. Then the best option is to take model classes and bind the things with your models. That makes your work and job easy and simple. Guys, you can just observe it, all of you. You are creating an object here. Product is equals to new product. You can write the code in any of these ways now. Option 1. Product is equals to new product and passing the values. I already shown you this code. Option 2. Where product is equals to new product of, and you can write the code. Option 3. Dynamic product is equals to new product of, and write this code. Option 4. Directly new product of, and pass off the values. Are you getting me? Any way you can just write it. A simplification of the code. All this 4. That's just see the above. You can write code in any of these ways now. Okay. So now, yeah, look at the view. First, top of the view. Next, div tag. This is a code what you're writing under the div tag now. Under the div tag, you're writing up this particular code. How do you call it? Home, index 15, and passing up all these values now. Okay, in the above index 15 action method, without reading each parameter value individually, we can directly read it through the model class by using the class as method parameter. Just to understand, I've written another method here. But now I'm using a different concept. I'm redirecting this value now. How am I redirecting? Test controller, product object. Okay, just observe it. Look, guys, public redirect to. I shown you one example and view result. Now that's why I'm going to redirect to route. Index 16. What will you do now? Directly say product. Any name here, you whatever you like. Now return, redirect to action. Tell me the continuation name. 5 is there, 6 now. What is that? Index 6, comma. Which controller? Test controller, comma. Comma. Now let us go to test controller. Index 6. There is no view for this. This doesn't have a view. This is redirect. That's all. Index 16 will receive the values and take you to index 6. Go to test controller. Tell me how to write the method here, guys. Public view result index 6. Read the values directly now. Return view over. Return view P. That only I shown you here now. Simply A, the passing the P here. Which one is simple? Reading them, again storing in an object and passing or directly reading this and passing now. No need objectification code simplified now. Next step, right click, add view. You tell me, what should I do first? At the rate model MVC data transfer dot models dot product. Table border is equals to 1, align equal to center, and width is equals to 20%. Caption, collect details. TR, TD, ID. TD at the rate model dot ID. Name, yeah, name. No, price. Double price is equals to at rate model dot price. Price is equals to price into, sorry, price plus price into 0.1 at the rate price. I should start from index 16. Slash home. Guys, observe which method? Index 16 is what I'm calling. Hit enter. Where it went? Index 6. And all the three values are passed their route. See now. Three values are passed as route only now. And now these route values are now read into product. If names are mismatching, it won't read the values. Did you understand my point? See, your route names and your property names are same. Correct or not? Suppose the name is wrong. I'm giving a wrong name, something. It won't read. Are you getting my point or not? If the names are wrong, it won't read. Why? The name mapping system checks for similar names. ID, ID, name, price, automatically loads the values. If names are wrong, the values are not going to be read into your application at all. Okay, so that's what the name mapping system of MVC tells us. So this is the next example I shown you. This is the test controller. Are you guys clearer? So I shown you all the 8 options to you. But finally, which one is better? Don't conclude like that. Everything depends on a requirement. I'm not telling you use this option or use this option. If I say use this option, they are not forced to give the remaining 7 options. Nah. That all depends upon our requirement. So understand, practice everything carefully first. Okay, going forward from the next class onwards, we will also design the UIs, read the UIs values, and the next level, I will store the values in the database. Got it? First, practice all the 8 options perfectly. Let's stop here. We'll meet tomorrow. No, Sai, not possible. Recordings are not provided. ID, name, price are already public. Where are the public? They are not public anywhere yet. You need to define the properties as public, and you are making properties, and the fields should not be used in there. It should be property only. Hello. In your class there, no? Write ID in the last, price in the first, name in the last. Still works. Still works. That's programming.
చెన్నై యూజ్ చేసేదేమన్నా చెన్నై గురించి ఏమన్నా చెప్తాను ఏఎస్పీలో